Well, good morning, guys. Welcome to Words from a Friend podcast. I'm your host, Marty Carey, and this is the podcast that follows my book, Words from a Friend, a daily guide to a purposeful life. It's available at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. We're on a 365-day inner journey together. We're on day 66 of that journey. So we're winding them down. Only 299 more to go. All right. So the punitive mindset is the message for today. It's the March 8th message. The punitive mindset. That means punishing. The mindset that loves to punish. Okay. This one can be tough for all of us, but letting go of this mindset will not only free your mind, but it will open up your heart and true power of understanding, higher knowledge, mercy, and forgiveness. Mercy and forgiveness. Very important that we have both of those because we need mercy sometimes, and we get out of our head and we're in our ego and we explode, and and we're just mercy said, oh man, I have been there. I've been there. It's okay, buddy. That's mercy. That's mercy. Otherwise, you could be, all right, calm the heck down. You could get in it. You can get in it with them, or you judge them for it. It's like this person, mercy is like you're using your light. You're using your light to tell somebody, I understand. I've been there. That's why mercy is. I've been there. Or it's been in my family. I've seen it, been through it. And that's where mercy comes in and forgiveness comes in, because we've done those things ourselves, and we try to hide that. And then all of a sudden we're all important because you've learned from your mistake, but other people haven't. Now you're all judgmental and no. We're here to be way showers for each other. Way showers. If you found a better way, and somebody is looks to you for some light, make sure you're spreading the truth and telling them, listen, I've been where you are, and I'm just going to let you know what I did. I'm let you know what I did, and it worked for me. And that's your power. That's your power to pay it forward. And instead of just sitting back and watching people struggle without at least saying, I can plant a seed here. Maybe I can plant a seed. Maybe I can just help them off the ledge, right? The punitive mindset will want you to just go, what a loser, right? You just want to judge and punish, okay? The punitive mindset comes from the inner judge, the judge that loves to hang 'em high. It's the first order of business. It's the first place you go. Well, that's your ego, because you're not given any space for understanding. You're not given any space for, have I been there? Not given any space to, I don't have any clue what this person is going through. Yet I'm here as judge and jury, right? No. You got to take a step back and you got to look from a higher perspective. Because if we just look from our earthly perspective, our ego, we'll always be blind. We'll always be blind to the truth, because the truth doesn't live in the ego. It's a higher perception and a higher perspective, and you have to look over. That's why you got to look over the top of your own life. You got to look at it as the watcher, not as the Marty. You got to look at it as the eternal spirit, that is part of all that is. It says, what can I do better here? And you look down upon yourself and you say, all right, I got some things to wrangle here. I got a few things to wrangle. And you just go about wrangling them. And then then that's it. It's done. Now it's in your wheelhouse of good stuff. You've kicked out the stuff that, especially just walking around with a punitive mindset like everybody else in this world is wrong and I'm right. I've got the best prescription for it all, and everybody should just, whatever that is. Punishing mindset. It's about connecting and understanding. You can watch TV all day, but that's the whole game on the news. Divide and conquer. It's every story there that is, we watch the news that we agree with, right? We watch the news that we agree with, that agrees with most, because it's not just news. It's supposed to be just information, neutral information, but that hasn't been like that in a long time, if ever, probably never. It's always been pushing crap on us, always. And now it's just pushing conflict. Conflict gains eyes. Conflict gains ratings. Conflict drags everybody into hell thinking, punishing. Hang 'em. you know, yeah, there's some evil out there. There's no question about that. That's just got to be dealt with. Disgusting. It's awful, and that's what we're doing. We're dealing with it. The light's dealing with it. The light is not a passive power at all. It's not passive at all. The light is the most creative force ever in the universe. It is the universe. It's the most creative force. It can find its way around anything, and it's love. So love conquers all. And all this fear-based thinking, love's going to conquer it. Love will conquer it all. And when we connect in that, we stop being el stupido in our own ego. We just say, all right, man, we're all from the same home. Let's end this stupid play. Let's end the stupidity that we're not one family, that we can't come together. That's stupid, right? We do it all the time. We just have to agree that we're not the ego and we're not separate. And when we see that and we remember that in ourselves, we start acting from it, living our life from it. And we won't live any other way. We won't live any other way. So you're just leaving all that crap behind for yourself, and then you need to teach your family to leave that crap behind. Because it's just it's the fast food of thinking. It's awful. It's terrible for us. Terrible. It just brings us all down and out of clarity, out of our center. We just want to kill everybody, right? Don't you? You just get mad. You're just mad all the time. That's exactly what they want. Well, that's why the whole system is set up for that. What business works where you have two parts of the company as rivals trying to make this one company work? What? Where does that work? It can't work. It's stupid. But it's there to keep the insane game in place. It's there to keep the insane game in place and keeping us in insanity. The insanity of our ego, in the wheel, in the matrix of not knowing, in the matrix of, oh my God, it's nothing. It's stupid. It's stupid. And we're growing out of it. We're growing out of it. We're saying, no, there's much more than this. Much more than this. Man, look out. Is that what we want? Is that what we want? Forever? Endless wars and, fake peace, paid for, paid for peace. No, it's got to be real. It's got to be like making the smile on your face real from the inside. It's an inside-out job. It's not a paste over or spray painting dog shit like gold to make it look like gold. It's still dog shit underneath that gold paint, right? It's still dog shit. So that all starts in our thoughts and beliefs and our understanding that we are so much more than the shell that we walk around in. So much more, so much bigger. We're the universe encapsulated into like a walking pill, in world. When we realize we are the creators, when we realize that it's our responsibility, it's not a passive thing. That's why we need to add our light together to make it real, and it's happening. It's happening. Everybody really wants peace. It's just they create these insane narratives that make us hate each other. Insane narratives that make us hate each other, and the actors, well, that's exactly what they are. They're paid to say these outlandish things. Millions of dollars to just read what's on the card in Congress. They don't even know what they're saying. If you can't speak from the heart, you should have no business leading people. If you can't speak your truth from the heart, you should have no business leading people. Because only the truth comes from the heart, right? You speak your truth. Everybody's paid to speak a certain lingo, and it's all low energy crap. It is. It's insane. The insanity of the ego. Keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. No, it's energy that has to change. And our knowing our real energy and living from it. And spreading that. Rather than the bullshit that is dying. It's dying as we see it because everybody's just so disgusted with it all. All of it. We've gotten past a lot of it and just go, I'm just disgusted with all of it. Right? Aren't we? All right, aren't we ready for something better? Aren't we ready for a better world than this? I know I am. And I'm just doing it in my own little world. That's it. I'm done. I'm done with that old world. Just live, love, and laugh. Live, love, and laugh. And anybody that doesn't want to do that with you, move on. Okay? You want to get into those skirmishes and all the political garbage talk and you got to be a news broadcaster everywhere. How about you just laugh together, love, and find where your commonality is and speak on that? That's what's going to make your relationship grow. It's what makes the world grow into closer to the oneness. Is just leaving this stuff that doesn't serve. The negative conversationalist, I call them. One that can only speak in negatives, in negative conversation. They don't ever have anything positive to come up with. That's what the world has trained us to do. Well, we got some small talk coming here. I might as well talk about what I hate about the world. We're going to agree about that. Well, no. You should disagree with that energy altogether. In yourself. How you want to live. You want to live up here, or you want to just, mediocre town energy every day. You can. It's certainly available. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. You can live in that swell, but you can do better. You are better. You're so much bigger than that. You're a star. You're so bright. You're so bright. And it's just decluttering the lie, ending the lie that you're not that. Okay, let me get back to this. The punitive mindset comes from our inner judge, the judge that loves to hang 'em high is the first order of business. This judge does not need much, if any, evidence to convict and cast a guilty sentence. We don't need much evidence, do we? No, as long as we're on this side. Well, that must be true if I'm on this side. They said it. Must be true. Think for yourself. Think for yourself. My God. Many times this punisher convicts us and gives us a life sentence of guilt and shame. Convicts us, too. The ego punishes outwardly because it punishes inwardly. When we're hurt and down and low in here, sure, that's all the thoughts that exist is the ones that are just negative. So you're going to want to just go punish and judge and all of that stuff. when you tune into your higher way, you don't even think about going there because you're doing it to yourself. You're tuning your own radio dial down deliberately when you know. So you're not going to do that deliberately anymore when you understand, when you move into it. You don't do that to yourself. And you don't engage. You're not places where that's all there is. No. That's a lot of places. That's all there is. So that's why a lot of people are choosing solitude, over chaos and just constant, sameness. Constant sameness. I think we're all looking for a change, aren't we? We're all looking for an upward change. Upward, after all the low garbage from the last however many years. Too many, my friends, too many. We got to come together. We got to unify. What will we unify in if we don't unify in love? Love's the only unifying energy there is. Love is the only unifying energy there is, and the universe is that. So we're fighting it. We're fighting unity by believing the lies that are broadcast to us every day in many different ways. We have to deny that. And we must say love is what's most important. God and love are the same thing. What we say God is, the universe, is love. It's the substance. That's as much as our human mind can comprehend it. But love is so much bigger than what our human mind can comprehend. That's why we're told not to lean on our own understanding. It's so much bigger than our little peanut head can understand. It is. That's why intuition is more important. That's our sixth sense. That's our connection to the divine. And you can only really get there by listening. Stop your yapping jaw. You're talking too much. You're not listening. Right? That's the thing. We learn when we listen. We're not learning when we're talking. We learn when we listen. So most important is to have your own time to do that. Your own time where you settle in. You give yourself 20, 30 minutes and you just let it go. Give it all over to the universe. All the garbage from the day. Give it all over. Take a great shower. The water gets all that negativity off from the day. Water is life. Flow like water. Water on you is cleansing. Cleanses off that negative energy. So that's why you feel so good after a shower, right? Or the hot tub or whatever. Water. Going in the ocean. It is. We're 90% water. Is that right? 90%. That's why it feels so good when we're in it. Okay, being punitive or the act of punishing is always the realm of the lower thought. What causes the violations is also the same energy as the judge of it. And so it continues. It's the wheel. The ego is just a wheel of fear, reaction, reaction from that fear, and then actions from that fear. You're causing it, and then you're reacting to it. And it's a wheel of negativity. You got to jump off that wheel, break it, break that wheel. Negativity draws upon itself from the acts it demands of us. Once we judge, we will be judged. We judge ourselves once we do. Ah, man, I really judge it first. Now I'm judging myself, and I feel guilty, and shame and all that stuff. We're doing it. We're choosing those thoughts, and to stay on that train of thought, because we have what 60 to 80% of the same thoughts every day, right? And so you got to learn. You got to be aware of what that train looks like in your head. You got to realize that you're the watcher of your thoughts. That you are not your thoughts. And that same train comes through every day, and you're thinking the same stuff on that train. It's like, I want to get on a new train. Well, then you got to start thinking better thoughts, newer thoughts, right? Change your thoughts, change your life. That's a great book by Dr. Wayne Dyer. You should get that one. Change your thoughts, change your life. Okay, and it's not thoughts you can't control, but you can choose them, and you can choose which ones to act upon, right, and which ones not to. Man, I would have done all this stuff, and now I'm just sitting back a little more and watching what I would have done and reacting in all these different ways, and I get myself all out of sorts, and I make myself anxious. Wow, when I started watching my thoughts, I go, man alive, I'm torturing myself in there. I'm torturing myself because I created the story, and now I'm adding to it. I'm adding new characters and new ways that you could fall off a cliff at any time or get cut in half. Right? That's what the ego does. Fear does. It makes us, film makes our own movie inside. Horrible, a horror show. So when we make that movie inside to our favor, and we start being the director of that movie, well, we can only be the director of it if we see it. We see the lines that have been spoken. We can rewrite the script, and we can start speaking a new script. Right? And you start speaking that new script, you're going to start acting on that new script, and your role will change. You'll have a new role. You'll walk differently because you're walking in your light. You're walking in the truth. So you're walking more confidently, not in arrogance at all. That's in humble confidence that we're all the same. If when you find that great spot in you, you could just be you. It could just be whatever. It's all good. It's all good. And it's so much more calm. So much more calm inside. And that's what I longed for years and years. And it was slow work. Slow work. But, in my business and in being an entrepreneur, my God, there's cliffs all the time. There's cliffs all the time that you got to get past, right? When you're working for yourself and you got your buddies with you and we're all charging in the same direction, right? We do our best and we stay creative and we stay pivoting when we need to and that kind of stuff. So we stay on top of our mindset, so it doesn't get the best of us. And that's the way you travel, right? One pointed direction, everybody moving in the same direction. If you've got a company or with your friendships, you're very different, but you come together in commonality, and that's where your love center is. That's where your love languages are going to come in. Let them be there and explore those and milk those for all they got. Milk those for all they got, because that's your beautiful experiences that you're putting down on your calendar this year. And then recognize those beautiful experiences when you're in them. And then when you leave from that experience and you're reflecting on your day, realize that you had a really good one and say, great day. Great job, buddy. Look in the mirror and say, great job, buddy. Great job. Right? And then great job, God. Thanks for all the help. Thanks for all the help. Because you're co-creating always with the divine. Always. When you're working in your favor, that's what it's supercharged. You supercharge it. When you're just talking to God all the time, saying, yeah, you're talking with, you're involved in your relationship with God. It's not just a passive thing. Your best friend, the one that created you. The one that created you. The one that created you. Is that hard concept for you to get your mind around? Because you don't see it? Well, we don't see a lot of things that are there, right? You don't see electricity in the air, but we know it's there and we've harnessed it, and you can plug your lamp into the wall and it works. That's energy. Well, God is energy. The energy of unconditional love. There isn't anything that you could do to help to have God stop loving you, because that's the isness of God. The isness is that it's just unconditional love. Okay? When you move into that in yourself and you give yourself that relationship and you know that you're loved like that, why would you care what anybody else thinks? Just live life to the fullest with that energy. Stay out of the punitive mindset. That just means you're barking up somebody else's tree, or picking somebody else's vegetables, picking on their vegetables in their garden. Leave them alone. Stay in your own garden and grow your garden. The offshoots of your garden will just create your world. It's not something you have to do so much as you just have to be. You have to be that energy, and then all that you need in that and happens in that higher realm is just going to come to you like a magnet, right? We attract who we are, not always just what we think, because our thoughts just aren't enough to get that manifested a lot of times. Speak on it, you act on it, you move towards it, you do your part. You do your part of that, okay? A lot of times there's times that it's not doing, and you're just waiting for God to do his part because you've done everything that you can do, and that's good. Now you're going to wait in patience and in faith and in trust. And then you're just going to keep going and kind of forget about it, so you're not attached to it, and let God fill that in. You just keep planting seeds and going forward in your own favor. That's how you keep the wheel of abundance churning in your life. You're always just moving forward in that happy-go-lucky, grateful to be here, grateful for friends, grateful for the great energy that I feel that I'm living in now and that I'm creating from now. And what else do I need? That's it. Your relationships are the gold. You treat them like gold. And spread your gold. Everything else takes care of itself. Everything else takes care of itself. You'll see. You're doing it in many ways now already. You're just expanding. You're just expanding in knowing yourself. Okay. The macro of this plane we live in is merely a reflection of the micro, right? What happens in our personal world. You look out into the real world, and it's like if we're arguing and all this stuff, we're feeding that. We're feeding that crap in the world when we're doing the things that we're talking about here. But when we cut these sandbags of what we talk about every day, but then we don't even choose that anymore. We're already living in a fourth dimension. We're already living where we want to be. And that's the example. You want to be the example of the world, and that will happen in your personal world. This little book has helped my personal world so much in teaching my kids and my marriage and my friendships. And it's helped because we're mindful of it. When we're not mindful of our own, what's going on inside of us, the world can entrap us in its bullshit. It takes our gaze off of our journey. It takes us out of the center of our light. Woo-hoo, takes us out of there. Now we're in the punitive mindset, and now we're part of the gang. Now we're part of the gang of whatever side we're on. We're part of the gang. The gang. No. That's it. That's we're coming up here, where we all see it for what it is together. Where we all see it for what it is together. Many may are not going to see it, but when most of us see it, that's it. Tippy tips down into the light, and the crap is over. It's seen for what it is and disgustingness that it is, and it can never come back again. You can never allow it again, ever. The light in us will never let it happen anyway. Okay. All right. When we as individuals become self-aware and understand that our small contribution to the energy of this planet absolutely matters, you matter. That's why I say you matter. We will know our true purpose. Our purpose is to wake up and remember that we are our light, and then live from that place. Live from that place and snip the sandbags of the lie, of the great lie that that's not what we are. We have that. We can feel the darkness, and we have learned the lessons of it, but we are not it. We are not it. We are the light, and the light has come to reclaim this place. Okay? And the light has come to reclaim you. Right? And expose you to how truly powerful and amazing and beautiful you have always been. How's that sound? How's that sound? The ascension is within. The ascension is within. We're going to see it, the effects of it on the outside. We're seeing the crumbling of what no longer belongs, just like when we're taking care of business on the inside of ourselves. We take care of the business and we realize it no longer belongs, so we don't even observe it anymore as an option for ourselves. We do not observe it as an option for ourselves anymore because we realize it's not who we are. Why would I make that stupid choice again? Right? That's how you get rid of it. Listening to the demands that our ego makes within us and being aware that this voice only destroys life will be your wake-up call. This voice keeps you judged and convicted by constantly hammering you with your own past convictions and mistakes, and tells you that you must continue to feel guilty, sad, shamed, angry, vengeful, and defeated. It's all a lie, and it's a life killer. It's all a lie. There's forgiveness. There's life after all that shame and guilt. There is. There is. You can drop it like a hot potato. Move into God. God shows you the way, right? That energy, the energy of God, just says, yeah, okay, this is much better. I'm moving with this from here forward. Yes, we are dual-natured beings while we are here. Our job is to recognize our true selves and our unconditional loving part. When we leave this ship we call our bodies, we leave behind the ego, nature, that lower energy stuff, the fear. We leave behind the fear and all that harm that it causes. All the harm that it causes. The wars and the famines and the haves and the have-nots and the fights and the never-ending conflict. Never-ending. That's what fear causes. Okay? The ego nature was part of our survival instincts within us for that purpose, but it got way out of control and became a thought and then a belief that it was us. It is not us, my friends. We must learn to leave behind like a polyester leisure suit from the 70s. I had a polyester leisure suit, a light blue one for the ninth grade dance. I took Margot Johnson. Margot, if you're watching today, that was a great time. Your brother Wally was our chaperone. It was wonderful. I remember getting that suit. It's a three-piecer, and the shoes and everything. We got at Denby's down at the old Uncle Sam Atrium in Troy. My father brought me down. I couldn't wait to get that suit on. But at any rate, the leisure suit with the white stitching, man, that thing was stretchy. All right. Don't be caught dead in that leisure suit, especially or alive in it. See the ego as contrast to the true path forward. Okay? You know, it's just a created self, our ego, and we can improve upon it at any time. At any time. But it's self-awareness and the courage to say I've been kind of traveling in wrong directions. And that's what they call the come to Jesus moment, right? That's just coming home to who you really are in your light. Why would you waste any time doing it? It's like saying I have this beautiful home within, but I've forgotten about it, and I don't believe it's for me because I've caused too much crap in my life, and I don't feel that in here. Yep, we've all been there. We've all been there. A lot of us still there, and parts of me, yeah, gotta work on it. Gotta work on it. Sure. We're always a work in progress. We are always a work in progress. So there's no shame in the game. Wherever you are is wherever you are, but you are at the edge, the leading edge of your own personal evolution always. Tomorrow's another day that you're going to add beautiful stuff and can take away the stuff that no longer belongs, and you can live lighter in the knowing that that's what you really are anyway. You're beautiful. Stop believing otherwise. Stop believing otherwise and stop talking to yourself in ways that aren't that. No more of that. No more treating yourself like, second class anything. Your tops, you got to fill your cup first. Remember that. Fill your cup first. Then you have plenty to give. You're not looking for gold from other people's cups because you don't have any of your own. Are you sure you have plenty of your own? Plenty. So fill your cup first. Be good to yourself. And then you'll see. You just got to start doing things for yourself that make you feel that. Make you feel that good. Forgive yourself for a lot of crap that you've done. Move forward in the light. The light always accepts you home. It'll always say, yeah, come on home. The water's warm here. Enough of that cold plunge and crap. I could never get into a cold plunge no matter what. Give me that hot shower, baby. It's not about becoming something more than what you currently are. It's about chipping off the unnecessary parts that are not. They're not love. You're not loving yourself. That are not loving your family. They're not loving anything. If you don't love yourself first, you're not even going to really understand how to love others, because you're just going to be working from a place a depth that you have yet to get to yourself. Accepting yourself just the way you are, loving yourself just the way you are, on the way to where you want to be. It's always accepting ourselves right where we are. We can be on our way to where we want to be, but right now is the time you say yes. Always now. I accept myself fully, completely, and yes, I can make changes, because it's just like changing furniture around in your house. I know some crazy girls who bought my house, my old house. All she does is move her furniture around all the time. She knows who she is. Okay. Making the choice in every moment to choose love, understanding, truth, and forgiveness is the underpinning of that love. So you keep that forefront in your mind, because your ego is going to want to punish. It's going to want to judge. It's the first thing that it does. Tomorrow we go on. Yeah, tomorrow is going to be the power of the silent blessing. So wherever we are, when your ego, like if you're, just in the grocery store, and your ego, you're going through, and you might be in a bad mood, and people in front of you are slow, and you start to judge, and you start to get all ugly inside, and you start to swirl in here, and you want to just kind of get out of there and all that stuff. All right, that's a good time to just stop, take a deep breath, and say, I see you in there. It's not them that's causing this ruckus. That slow person that I want to get the hell out of my way. But it's me. It's me being impatient. It's me not taking charge of what's going on in here the best I can. That's the practice. Practice in these little ways. Practice in these little ways. Going, all right, I'm taking this back, this power of mine. And these are the little practices that I can do to do it. I'm going to offer silent blessing. Put a smile on my face and grab my butter and get the hell out of there, whatever it is. Okay? So today's CTA. Today, make the choice to shed some light on the antics of your ego. Right? You can learn to laugh at your ego. It's like, oh boy, what you would want to say right there would have been really funny. But not kind at all. Right? So, at any rate, today make the choice to shed some light on the antics of your ego. Watch the activity of your inner judge. Call it out when it lies about you or others. Know that there's always another choice and a way to view. View from above. It's called truth. It's called truth. And the more you move into it in your light, the more truthful answers will come and replace the ones that used to live there. It just happens. Because when you move, it's like moving up a radio station, the frequency is different. The frequency of your own bioelectric system, which is your body, your energetic body. Okay, when we learn to take out the bugs that weighs that energy down and gets us all out of whack all the time, like anxiety, like depression, like jealousy, like envy, like hatred, and like fear. Fear is the Mac Daddy that all of those other ones are in subsets. Fear and hate go hand in hand. Go hand in hand. I fear you. I don't understand you. Therefore, my first thought is to hate you. No. Look at what's happened over centuries thinking that way. So this is us just God saying, you know what, I'm gonna wake a lot more of you up. This is the time. This is the time. So a lot of us are feeling that and knowing that the world has gotten nuts. So what's the other direction? There is only one direction, and we've gotten away from it, and we've been, propagandized into separation. Kept us there for centuries. It's over. It's over. All right. And when it's over in each of us, and we just say, I'm going to do a little better today than I would have yesterday. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Shine. And when you shine around those people you work with every day, you're a blessing. You're a blessing. And when you're low or you're out of your sorts, they'll bring you back up. That's the circle of love. And that's what you should feed every day to yourself and everybody else. Much love, my friends. We shall see you tomorrow.